What's up, guys? So a lot of people are crying hacks and exploits and glitches and such on Morpheus now because of all the regrading that's going on and all the legendary epics and, potentially there's been two known mythics that were created on Morpheus already, and it just doesn't seem right to a lot of people. But we're going to take a look at some numbers here and show you why things are changed like this, why things are happening, why you're seeing these alerts almost every single minute on the servers. So this is the charts that were pulled from the data way back when in 1.7 when that big update came and we got the regrade changes. You can see up above, regrade used to be at this level for, I believe, all the way from 1.0 to 1.2. It was pretty horrendous. With charms, the best charms available, your chances of upgrading were really slim. It slims way down at the heroic and then the unique, and then it had a huge chance of downgrading at the heroic status, and then another huge chance of downgrading at the unique status. So getting up to celestial was almost unheard of in 1.2. That's why there wasn't that many celestials. That was like if you had a celestial back then or a divine, you were like a god. When they changed things over in 1.7, you can see the percents change very dramatically. So it stays roughly about the same in the beginning here, but as you get to arcane, it's 53% now. So it's a nice around 9% increase. Then when you go down to heroic, it stays at that 53%. And that's a huge increase of, 18% right there? Plus, your downgrade chance at heroic now is only 19%. So that's like a insane change right there. That's a 32% difference in change. Also, if you are using the, lucky sun points, your double chance, your Parok, is quite significant here at this stage. It's 11%. I don't really know anyone that uses a lucky sun point at heroic, but if you do, it's a very significant chance of getting up to celestial right there. Then going down again, unique now got a huge jump increase as well, 20% increase in success rate. Again, a huge increase here in the great success, a 10% now rather than a 6. That's really significant right there. You may not realize it, but that's a huge change. And then the downgrading, again, a huge change. 39.5% difference of downgrading. So a lot easier to regrade. It's phenomenally how easy it is to regrade, in the 1.7 changes in this patch, in this version of the game. At Celestial, it didn't change much. It changes the breaking destruction failures. So people are more, willing to chance that now because they only have a 40% chance of breaking it rather than an 80% chance. And then doesn't look like there's any changes at all in the Divine, Epic, and Legendary. So we'll take a look here at why I believe that everything is going on like it is. So first there's ships. Ships also trigger that global message in game where you're seeing, successful regrade. So ships are a lot easier to regrade. And, it's about a 50-50 people have assumed on the ship regrades. So you're seeing those ship messages as well. You're now seeing how pretty easy it is. And all the prices on regrading scrolls and regrading charms are pretty cheap on Morpheus. So, and there's also nothing really else to do in-game wise, is pretty much gear up. And that's the main point of in-game for PvP players, is gearing up and having the best gear score that you can get. So they're going to spend all their money and all their effort into, regrading. And there's people that re-rolled from old servers, came back on here, or people that are leaving to Black Desert to try out the beta. I believe the beta just opened up, the North American EU beta. So there was people that were, YOLOing and going from divines, epics, legendaries, and just, I don't give a fuck. We're going to just chance it, and then they magically hits one of these, special great successes, jumped up. That's how we got a mythic. That's how I think the first mythic came about, is that he was YOLOing. He's like, I don't give a fuck. And he went from epic to mythic. So he hit one of those 2%. And it was just like, oh my god, wow, like I guess I'm staying now possibly, you got a mythic weapon, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go over to Black Desert now, or are you gonna stick around? It's those kind of things. People really don't give a fuck about what they do on this server. They're just kind of like and then again, it's really cheap. So red Regrade charms just got flooded into the system. They're around 200s, and then the Sapirs around 275. So it's very, very cheap. The green and the blue charms were like 15 to 30 gold each on those guys. And then the regrading scrolls, especially the weapon ones, were around 9 or so gold. So it's extremely cheap to regrade. Armor about 20 gold. And that's why people are just throwing money at it. And then with all, like, it's so easy to make a lot of money in Morpheus. If you do any kind of farming, you're still going to get around 3 to 5 silver per labor spent on most generic things. You can get up towards a 10 plus on some rare crops. You can also earn around 10 silver per labor point on trade pack runs. And then they also buffed up the continental gold runs. So you're making a decent profit on gold runs, on trade pack runs there. The charcoal runs, especially during this event with the Halloween event, where 2 Crowns and Solace is in festival period. That makes those things pretty much, safe runs. All you got to do is cross the ocean a little bit in a merchant or a clipper, and you get a lot of charcoal. So especially doing larders are 10 to 15 silver per labor spent. You get like 20 charcoals or so for the larders, and then the specialty fertilizer packs, you get like, I think it's 18 or 19 charcoals for those guys, and those guys are all selling about a gold each. Take away the materials needed, and again, you're looking at 10 to 15 silver per labor point spent on those things. And the charcoal sells really, really well. So they're getting a significant amount of money. In one like merchant ship, you're able to generate like 500 gold or so, give or take, doing that cross sea trade pack run over to Solace or 2 Crowns. And so a lot of money is being generated that way. And then there's also, of course, the basic money from coin purses, which are around 5 silver per labor point spent. So there's just a lot of money, generated in the game. And the only real sink is these regrading charms and regrading itself. So people, again, have this money to burn. Apex is cheap. They're like, fuck it, we'll just go, regrade. And they're blowing up a lot of weapons. So I personally know a couple people that have blown up quite a few divines and epics themselves regrading. And it's kind of like, no big deal. Like, I'm either quitting or leaving or whatever. Like, what the fuck? I don't care. They could also rebuy another weapon for a fairly cheap amount. So some of these guys do have really deep pockets as well. Like, a divine tier 1 is around 3,500, 4,000 gold. So that's only 20 apex or so, 15 to 20 apex. And it's just like, for those kind of people, it's $200, $150. It's not that much money, and they're just like, fuck it. Like, I want to have a mythic or legendary weapon. I'm gonna go YOLO and try my luck. So you got those kind of people. You got it seems to be a ton of whales on Morpheus, like tons and tons of whales. So Apex prices dropped a little bit back down to like 230, 245, and that kind of was surprising to me. I thought Apex was going to hit around 300 after this Halloween events. It should steadily increase as well, but there's just a ton of people throwing money. And you go around in the housing provinces and you see that there's a lot of people that have the mailboxes, the plushies from that special pack that cost 250 or 150 or whatever it was. Like, people just throw so much money at Tryon Worlds. It's ridiculous. They throw so much money at archeage. I'm kind of scared. There's a thread on the forums that shows, like, it asks, how much money have you spent on archeage? And let's go head over there right now. I haven't looked at it yet, so I'm kind of scared to see what the thread actually says. I can imagine there's quite a few people that have spent $1,000+ on this. All right, here's the poll results. Yep, as I anticipated, there's quite a few that said on the poll they spent $500+, $1,000+. And look at this, you got whales here, tons. 2,000+, 53 responded like that. That's insane. Because obviously you're probably going to mark it down a little bit lower than what you've spent. And even only patron, If you've been playing archeage for a year and you've been paying for patron on one account, that's what, $15 a year, $15 a month. That's 180 bucks right there. So yeah, like that's a significant chunk. And most players that I know have two accounts. Sure, a lot of them play with Apex, but God, that's crazy. So like so much money being thrown at Tryon Worlds. It's insane.